Well, I don't love it and I don't hate it. So the operative word would be like. And a couple of points that I'd like to make. You religiously bring up, whether or not somebody has the right to do something. Nobody's challenging their right. We're asking you how you feel about it. And anytime somebody does something in public view, folks have an opportunity and have a right to have an opinion about it, just like, and that's what we're doing. It's one of those situations where you look at LaVar Ball right now, you can't hate on it because anything that provides additional opportunities for the youth in our country to go about the business of monetizing themselves in a legal and productive fashion, it's something that we should applaud and we should support if we can. It's why I support Ice Cube with his 3-on-3 ball tournament in the offseason, in the NBA offseason. I'm incredibly proud of what Ice Cube has been doing. Guys like LL Cool J and others have been adamantly supporting him in his venture in that regard. And I think we should continue to do so. This is something, obviously, that we have to look at it with some skepticism, because the first question that I would have is, where's the big baller getting the money from? Somebody with deep pockets behind the scenes is clearly willing to finance the big baller brand, because how could you afford to pay somebody $10,000 per month? Some of the marquee guys, I'd like to see you pull that off. What kind of money are you getting? What are you generating from it? So it's a question mark there. Again, I don't hate it, because those kind of opportunities present more opportunities for our youth who aspire to be professional athletes someday. So I definitely applaud that. But the reason why I can't love it is because of LaVar Ball. And what I mean by that is saying this: I appreciate his entrepreneurial spirit. I appreciate the fact that he stands up for what he believes in and he's unapologetic about it. But just because I appreciate it and I genuinely like him doesn't mean that we get to approve of every single thing that he does. Think about the things that he does. The way you bloviate, the way you talk, and the way you're pulling your son out of high school, you're pulling your son out of college. You've got to wonder what kind of message that sends. You also have to wonder about who's really going to support you in terms of advertisers and sponsors willing to patronize your brand. Again, you may have some folks, but then again, you may not. It's a question mark. And when you look at the history of the Ball family, clearly he was exceptional, because people have looked at Lonzo Ball this year and wondered whether or not he deserved to be a lottery pick. But because of LaVar Ball, not only did he get picked number 2 overall, the Lakers were pressured into having to take him. There was no way they could pass up on him. That was genius. But pulling your son out of high school, pulling another son out of college, your son goes to another country, he commits robbery, and you're saying that it's not a big deal. It may not be that big of a deal, but that's not something you need to be articulating publicly as a parent. Some people will look at stuff like that and then wonder, why should a kid straight out of high school be associated with your brand? These are the kind of questions. So it comes down to how he's going to conduct himself, how he's going to conduct business. What is he going to do to facilitate growth? Because it's one thing to give folks $10,000, or, which is only some of them. It's another thing entirely to leave them ill-prepared for the real world when it comes to paying bills and doing what you got to do to elevate your stuff and your quality of life. What is he doing to assist in that regard when you're talking about financing young kids? All of these things factor into the equation, and I don't think they could be ignored.